Hi, my name's Ali, and today we're going to be looking at seasons. As the Earth goes around the Sun, tilting as it does, it revolves on its axis much like a lopsided top. Where we live, and therefore how much sunlight we get at different times of the year, can make a huge difference to our lives and the lives of the animals and plants around us. Spring, summer, autumn, rainy, winter, dry, it all depends on where you live on Earth. If we look at the thematic analysis for the Australian Curriculum of Science, we'll see that seasons are taught specifically in the Earth and Space Science theme. The concept is seeded in the foundational year, but it is targeted in Year 7. And it's further expanded on in Year 10. Your objectives for this video are to describe the relationship between the Earth and the Sun, identify misconceptions students have about seasons, describe the reasons why we have the seasons in your own words. Turn it into a story that you could explain to someone who's never heard of it before. When teaching seasons, always use models. Ask the students to stand up and move around when teaching seasons. You'll need a ball to represent the globe. You'll also need another ball to represent the moon. Make sure you have the sizing right. The moon should be about a quarter the size of the Earth. And you'll also need some type of torch or flashlight to actually act as the sun. The Earth revolves, or orbits, around the Sun. The plane of the orbit is an ellipse. Most are depicted as oval, so you may need to go through this shape with your students. An alternative conception for students is that they think the Earth is the closest to the Sun, therefore we must have summer. But the CDSU is that in the Northern Hemisphere, in summer, the Earth is slightly further away from the Sun and closer during winter. You can highlight this by looking at the ellipse. One revolution of the Earth takes slightly more than a year, 365.25 days. So that is why we add the extra day every 4 years. When explaining or investigating the CDSU, use the precise number. Do not use everyday terms such as year. The key is being as accurate as possible. The Earth's axis, which is an imaginary line that runs through the centre of the Earth from pole to pole, is not at right angles to the Sun. It is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees. The Earth rotates or spins on its axis from west to east, making a complete rotation in 24 hours, which is an Earth day. As viewed from the North Star, or Polaris, the Earth turns counterclockwise. This may help students to remember, but as we cannot view the world like that, it is correct to use the term west to east. The Earth spins at about 1700 kilometers per hour. But you don't notice it because everything around you is moving at the same speed. This is the same as being in a car or on a plane. As everything is going at the same speed as what you are, you don't notice how fast you're actually moving. To use the correct terminology, we can say the Earth rotates on its axis at the same time that it revolves around the Sun. The seasons of the year are produced by 3 factors which determine between them the amount of sunlight that strikes the Earth at any time. First is the angle of tilt of the Earth's rotation with respect to its orbit around the Sun. The second is the spherical shape of the Earth. The third is the orbit of the Earth around the Sun. The Earth is warmed by heat rays from the Sun. The warmth we associate with summer is due to the long hours of sunlight coming from the Sun high in the sky, warming the Earth's surface. The cold of winter, conversely, is due to the Sun being lower in the sky, with fewer hours of sunlight to warm the Earth. Therefore, depending on the angle at which the Sun's rays hit the Earth, some places will be warmer than others. The warmer places will get a concentrated amount of direct sunlight over a long period of time. Cooler places will receive less concentrated amounts of sunlight, or indirect sunlight, or the sunlight will be more spread out and therefore it will be cooler. This is all due to the tilt of the Earth's axis. The temperature changes are less dramatic near the equator than at the poles, since the equators receive the same amount of light all year. The poles, on the other hand, receive no sunlight at all during the winter months, which is part of the reason why they're frozen. So depending on the angle at which the Sun's rays hit the Earth, some places will be warmer than others. Look at the diagram on the top right. The horizontal lines show heat rays coming from the Sun hitting the curved surface of the Earth. Count the number of rays that hit Cairns. Count the number of rays that hit Melbourne. From this you can see that the more the surface is tilted away from the Sun, the fewer rays will hit it, and therefore the cooler it will be. All First Nations of Australian cultures have stories about their local seasons and their importance. Many First Nations communities more accurately suggest that they have up to 6 seasons. It'd be a great time to touch base with your local elders and find out more about the traditional people who live in your area. Find out about their stories and invite them to come in and speak to your students about the seasons. And remember, lastly, when you're actually teaching seasons, make sure you actually get a torch and a ball and investigate this for yourself.